What is up, brothers and sisters of America? It was a nasty day on Friday in the stock market. I did not see any pertinent news that caused it. It was just one of those days, and man, people got smoked out. The market was at one point down about 1.8%, and man, every stock, one after another, was getting hit, especially some of the high flyers. So let's spend some few minutes digging into the stock market indices and where I think, where we are and where the levels are. And then we'll go into my trading watch list for tomorrow and the coming week. Like I said, Friday was just it was a nasty McGee. I mean, what else are you supposed to do, right? I mean, this is like, we had a nasty little one, and dude, we had been up a few days in a row, then we had an inside day, and then we pulled back. Now, look, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just a higher low from here. But we do just got to be, a little bit aware that sometimes these diamond patterns, they break to the downside, and so that's where we're at right now. We're not in like a clean kind of higher high, higher low thing. We're in a little bit of something different, and we're in the diamond, and we'll have to see which way this breaks. It could very well go this way or could go that way. I still like to give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls, but I will say that Friday's depth of pullback took me by surprise. I'm normally the slayer of shorts, and I wasn't ready to short, man. The market, rolled over, and I was like, fuck, and it took me a second. Like, I was like, is this happening? And so something to be mindful of. And you saw a lot of stocks also just get pummeled. Tesla was down about 4.5%. I mean, that's decent. You see, some stocks held up like TSM, but you just had kind of a little bit across the board. Some of the high flyers were getting hit, mostly Tesla, PLTR, like these things that are really, really extended. So something to keep mind of. It doesn't mean that the trend is over, but there is some broadening weakness. For example, on the S&P 500, we have been really flat since November, let's call this November 4th, right? So we're almost in January. So we've really been flat this whole time. And you can see here, it's like is this a head and shoulders? Maybe, maybe not, right? I mean, I could be inventing patterns right there, but, we've definitely flatlined here. And that's something to be mindful of. And then if you look at the IWM is not in an uptrend, right? It's in a downtrend. It is in a downtrend. You can see the trending indicator, the bone zone between the 920 EMA is red. So on a long-term basis, yes, the IWM is slightly grinding higher. But on most other terms, your intermediate and short term, the trend is down. So the IWM is down. The SPY itself is flat, right? The SPY itself is flat. 9 EMA is curling down, 20 is flat, 50 is flat, and 200's up. But in essence, right, and just looking at this in a layman's way, we're flat. And then the Qs, which is, really where I'm hanging my hat, the trend is still higher, but we do got this kind of, right, little bit of a diamond forming here, and that's something to just be mindful of. We could very well just rip to the upside tomorrow. The dips have been getting bought in the market, but I do want to just put some caution on the tape because things were a little bit nasty on Friday, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And when that happens, it just causes me to say, like, hey, let's be a little bit patient the next day. Let's let things set up. Let's let it marinate a little bit and go. So let's get into just let's get into the watch list for tomorrow. The watch list is a little bit shorter than normal. I'm just going to put some daily traders on that I think are going to be good for tomorrow that we want to be watching. First of all, we need to have INDQ on the watch list. Right now, it's just like kind of in this, I don't even know, I'd call this a channel for the most part. And right now it's just sitting in this channel. You can see here, when it hits the top of the range, it kind of, grinds back. And so far, I'm using hourly chart. it's been pulling back to the 50 EMA on the hourly chart for a little bit of time here for the last couple of weeks. And so, if we have a week open here, I'll watch and see how it marinates at 43. I may take it for a long here just because the trend has been higher. And even though it feels like a short till it blows off, I mean, I'm talking about that big 30-40% update kind of thing, or a few days where it does that. I think we probably just leave it alone and and just play with the trend. I got this docs on watch for a swing trade. It's came out of the first level here that I was watching, and now this is the second ad over here. Got a good look to it overall. JOBY, I think these EV tolls, right? The electric helicopter things. This isn't going away. You got one test, two tests, three tests. You got an inside day on Friday. This is the hourly chart over here. Hey, look, the market was getting smoked out. This thing still held up. I'm a believer. Let's add this to the watch list. And then if you just look at how kind of ACHR exploded of recent too, right? Like, up 400% or whatever in the last so long. And this is kind of a little bit of a cup and handle too. I think probably this is where we want to be. I got this Roblox on watch list. Either pull back to the bottom of the range to load in for a swing, or if I'm day trading, right, I want to see it take out this range first, 60 and then 61, and then we'll see what's up. AVGO, this looks like to me a buy on all dips scenario. If this has weakness tomorrow, so I would consider this an inside day today. So after the 4 days of uptrend, and we've been aggressively trading it to the upside, you had an inside day and just a normal rest day, down 1.5% after such a big move. That's bullish to me. And you can see this is tighten up. If he gets a weak open tomorrow, I think we hit it for the flag break out there, and it's going to be a powerful one. If it rips through the 250, I mean, woo. Eso buenos noches, Morelius, Maximus. Eso buenos. Then I'm watching this LULU here for that kind of just 390 break. Pretty simple setup. And out of the big caps, I want to add in this meta. It tested the 50-day moving average and popped up. And it kind of came back and retested. And then you got a hammer candle on the intraday. It closed pretty strong. Now, look, it's a Friday, so it could mean anything, right? That could just be a nothing. But, I like when they have these kind of little candles where they completely reverse. Because then when they finally kind of take out this range here, it gets a little bit more explosive. So I added this one. And, man, I've been watching this one. Dude, I wanted to snag this around 200, and it was dead on Friday on the long side. I didn't want to risk it. But, my plan had been to swing this from around 200 in anticipation of the breakout. If it gets a week open tomorrow, retest this 200, I'm a buyer. I'll probably do maybe 2-3 weeks out, the 210 calls, 215 calls, something like that. And swing trade this thing to the upside. Slim pickings, when you get a nasty down day like that, you want to kind of congest your list a little bit and just leave things alone. So I love you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. It's going to be a little bit crazy, but dude, we got to do what we got to do, which is the do.